Welcome to the Contrarians and to a new series. Tonight we are curating the ultimate concept albums from our favorite bands. Tonight's band is AC/DC, and we want to hear from you in the chat. Let's do it. Welcome to the Contrarians and to another month and another concept. Like last month, we had the Battle of the Rock. Well, now we're doing the Battle of the Concept. So the idea, I'm not even sure who came up with this. Probably Marco or something crazy-ass bastard. Each person on the panel picks 8 to 10 songs from an artist, sequences them, and then builds a concept around the track listing. So it could be a storyline, it could capture a mood, it could explore a loose idea, anything goes. So tonight's topic, or tonight's band rather, we're looking at AC/DC. So anyway, I want to welcome, we already have, the naming convention here tonight is already a concept. I want to welcome Matt of Rock here tonight, the Elder of Rock, the Parish of Rock, and then, of course, I'm your host, the Warehaus of Rock. So let's get started. I think I'm just going to go as I see it. Matt was here first. We'll go Matt, the Elder, and Parish, and we're just going to go around the horn. Matt, welcome to the show. What is your AC/DC concept?
Thank you, Grant. So my favorite AC/DC concept album is the album One with a Bullet.
Okay.
Now, the details around the production of this album are, of course, very sketchy.
Right.
There's not a lot known about it. The only known copies that were ever found were placed within a vinyl reissue of a Flash in the Pan album.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and there's only, a few that are in known existence. And it's really become the Maltese Falcon of Australian hard rock collectibles.
I've never even heard of that.
I never even heard of it. My goodness.
Of course not. It's rare. It's rare.
It's rare.
And really all that we know about it comes from the uncredited, very brief liner notes. So if you'll indulge me, I'm just going to read a paragraph from the liner notes,
of course,
which sets up the background of it. So Bon Scott left behind a box of lyric fragments that included song titles, rhymes, and even full lines, most of which were written on cocktail napkins and various shades of lipstick. But also within the box were notes for a movie script that Bon had hoped to make and in which he would be the star of this movie. And it's a noirish story of a charismatic man who lives easy and loves free, but leads a life of crime as a gun-toting soldier of fortune.
Ah.
And so this album, it compiles the AC/DC songs that are focused on guns, bullets, and shooting that tell this tragic tale. So I've listened to it a bunch of times. I mean, you can listen to streaming bootleg copies and stuff on the internet. And I think I've distilled out what the story is. So I'll just go through the songs, and it's my interpretation of what I think they had in mind with this story. So side one kicks off with Problem Child. And this is showing how our main character, right from the beginning, has a propensity for violence right from the start. So he's got the line, of course, I've got a 45 and I never miss. Next song goes into Shoot to Thrill. And here we're foreshadowing his destiny that's centered around women and guns. I got my gun at the ready, gonna fire at will, and I'm ready to kill. I can't get enough and I can't get my fill. So definitely some foreshadowing here. The third song is Dogs of War. And so here as an adult, he's grown up to become, whoa, look at that.
Shit, I triggered the balloons.
See, you shot the thrill.
I shot the thrill.
So with Dogs of War, he grows up and he's become a soldier of fortune. So, the lines, dodging the bullets, shooting the missiles, soldier of fortune, mercenary man. The fourth song is Guns for Hire. And in this case now, he's moved on. So rather than just serving paramilitary organizations, he's now freelancing and he's womanizing. So I'm a real entertainer, a mischief maker. And he started a relationship with a woman who shares his same lifestyle. And then side one wraps up with Big Gun. And as a pair, this duo, him and this woman, have now found fame. There's even talk of maybe a Hollywood movie being made about them, this unbeatable pair. So living out a fantasy, there's a bad man cruising around in a big black limousine. So side one ends and ends on this big high note, but then you flip it over and side two, the tone really changes. So it starts off with a couple of songs from Power Age. So Gone Shooting. The woman has left him, and she's bought a ticket of her own accord to, I don't know, packed her heart in a traveling bag and never said bye-bye. And then we go into Gimme a Bullet. He's got a broken heart. Right. Used to be able to love him and leave him, but there's something about this woman. So doctor, doctor, ain't no cure for the pain in my heart. In the middle of side two, the 8th song in the album, he finds sort of, he's gone to his chapel perilous now, and it's Back in Black. So he's embraced the darkness, and now he's back. So he's number one with a bullet, giving us the title of the album. I'm a power pack. So with song number 9, Bedlam in Belgium, he's decided he's going to go win her back, and he's trying to hunt her down, but others are after her as well. So he goes to Belgium, he finds her, but violence ensues, and there's some sort of violent altercation, and he is caught by the authorities. So lyrics like, the blood in my veins was running right through my brain. There was a cop with a gun who was running around insane. He gave me a crack in the back with his gun, hurt me so bad I could feel the blood run. And he's put in prison. And so the album, as you may guess, concludes with Jailbreak.
I was going to say, it's got to have Jailbreak in here somewhere.
That's right. And so, here, the point of view changes. So all these other songs have been in the first person, but now it's told from the perspective of a third party, a friend of his that he's confided in. And you can kind of see through the lyrics, though, that he's embellished the story a bit and how he's told it to his friend. He said he'd seen his lady being fooled with by another man, and that kind of a thing. So, and he's really not at fault. But he really wants to find her and win her back still. And so, of course, he has to make a jailbreak. And he does make it out, but with a bullet in his back. And so it ends tragically. Goodness. And so that is why this is my favorite AC/DC concept album.
Yeah, and that works totally as a concept album. Yeah, I didn't know there was so many songs AC/DC did about guns and bullets and mayhem.
I had to cut some out, so I had more. It could have been a double album. Album. I don't know what kind of a budget they were working with, so perhaps things got cut on the cutting room floor. There may be more to the story than what I was able to decipher.
It could be like a 2-record set. You could be like Tommy.
All I will say is hold that thought.
Right. We may be going. Us of rocks often think the same, so I'm not surprised.
Well, you kind of look at AC/DC and they kind of set it up for it, but we'll see what Parish has. All right, Matt. Holy crap!
Wow. Yeah.
So everybody, we want to know what you think of these concepts so far. I'm in. I dig it. We get a thumbs up from the Parish. The Elder, I think you're
frozen. Yeah, I'm frozen. I don't know. I tried to see if I could, but I guess it's not gonna let me.
Well, go back out and come back in real quick.
All right, hold on. So this is a concept.
Back in black.
He's back in black, and he's on the highway to hell.
That's right.
All right, Elder, what you got? What's your concept here?
All right. So the concept. This is an album called I'm going to call "Rockin' to Hell."
Okay.
All right. So it's about a guy who's a rocker, a roller, a ride out of controller. Mm-hmm. He hears there's going to be some rocking at a show tonight. So he goes to that show. After that show, he realizes that rock and roll ain't noise pollution. So it's not going to die. So he figures, you know what? I'm going to be a rock and roll singer. Going to be a rock and roll star. And after that, he decides, you know what? It's rock or bust. Going to travel across the land with a guitar band. And so after that, he's on the rock and roll train, runaway train, burning down that track. Unfortunately, the rock and roll train brings him into a rock and roll damnation.
Mm-hmm.
And into rock and roll damnation, he hears hell's bells. So he figures, and of course that means he's of course on the highway to hell. He's down there, and he realizes once he gets there, hell ain't a bad place to be. So there you go.
Excellent. The Elder of Rock. Look at you. You're on a rock and roll damnation.
Rock and roll, rocking to hell.
All right. Cool. Excellent work. Excellent work. All right. Let's throw it over to the Parish of Rock. Parish, what do you? What is your concept?
Well, the problem with going last is there's the risk that you might overlap, and that's exactly what I'm going to get. But nonetheless, so mine, I kind of came at this slightly differently. So, firstly, I was thinking, if I was going to do how do you do an AC/DC concept album? And I thought, well, what if we did AC/DC the musical? Bit like We Will Rock You was Queen the musical, or Mamma Mia being ABBA the musical. So the kind of overlying concept is this is AC/DC the musical. But just with those two films and plays that I mentioned, there's a theme and a story that kind of goes through them that is derived, at least very loosely, from some of their songs. So when I got into AC/DC, I got into AC/DC with Rock and Roll Damnation. And on the B side of that single was Sin City. And I've always been fascinated by two characters that are mentioned in Sin City, which is Fingers Freddy and Diamond Jim. So my story that weaves through AC/DC the musical is the story of Fingers Freddy. So hence why there's a bit of an overlap with Matt's story. And so the title of the album is Sin City, AC/DC the musical, brackets, the story of Fingers Freddy. So there you go. So a bit of a mouthful.
I just can't imagine an AC/DC musical, but I'm sure this is all going to work.
And imagine that these aren't being played by AC/DC. These are being played by a cast of a musical.
Okay.
So a bit like Queen being played by the cast of a musical, not necessarily. These aren't necessarily being played by AC/DC. They're just AC/DC songs telling the story of Fingers Freddy. So a bit like Matt, I'm kicking off with Problem Child. So as soon as he's born, he's a troublemaker. He's difficult. He takes what he wants, and what he doesn't want, he breaks. Flick knife, all of that. So he's a problem child right from the beginning. So that's the opening number. He gets to 6 and he goes to school, and he goes to his mates around the back of the bike shed. If you're having trouble with your high-schooled head, and he's giving you the blues, so you're straight into dirty deeds done dirt cheap. And he's sorting out everything that's going on at school, whether it's selling cigarettes and booze, sorting out the headmaster, etc. So he's like that all the way through school, and when he leaves school at the age of 14, he's a bit of a reprobate. He's dirty, he's mean, he's unclean. He's a wanted man, public enemy number 1. So my next song is TNT. So, but in his early 20s, he realizes he needs to make some money. But of course, he can't make money by doing an honest job. So he becomes a card shark, and he gets really good at playing cards. And she gave him the queen, and she gave him the king. She was wheeling and dealing and doing her thing. So the Jack is the next song that comes up. And he gets so good at playing cards, he thinks, I'm going to have to go to Las Vegas and make my money. So, as it says in the song, Fingers Freddy, Diamond Jim, they're getting ready, look out, I'm coming in. So the next song is Sin City. And that then closes side 1. So you imagine the curtain falling at the end of that song.
Right.
And again, there's repeats of what others have said. So he gets himself a a showgirl he becomes sort of friendly with, but unfortunately she does the dirty on him, and he ends up killing her other boyfriend, and he's put in jail. So the next song is Jailbreak. And as we've just heard, but he did make it out, but with a bullet in his back. So Jailbreak. And of course, as he's laying there on the ground, and there's blood on the streets, blood on the rocks, blood in the gutter, every last drop. So the next song is If You Want Blood, You've Got It, as he's laying there bleeding out. He obviously dies, so you then have the funeral, and that kicks off with Hell's Bells, with the bells ringing into the funeral. But he's got his bell, and he's going to take it to hell. I'm going to get you, Satan, get you, Hell's Bells. So he's now on, from Hell's Bells, he's into Highway to Hell. Hey, Satan, pay my dues. I'm on my way to the promised land on the highway to hell. So he's going down to hell for all the things he's done. But a bit like Matt's song, when he gets there, he finds the devil is actually a woman. So don't mind her playing demon as long as it's with me. If this is hell, then let me say it's heavenly. Hell ain't a bad place to be. And that's the close of the musical with the big finale, and that's the end. So that's my concept.
I think you all may have a future on Broadway.
We're just trying to picture AC/DC with jazz hands, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Highway to hell.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that there was some overlap in the songs. I remember reading in a playbill at one point that the choreographer for the AC/DC musical had acquired a copy of this.
He probably had.
Yeah, probably a little bit inspired.
Well, there was a bit of
a
legal case over it, as I understoed.
That's right, but I think that's why some of it was.
Yeah,
changed.
I think so. So there was a bit of an overlap, and also the uncredited rock and roll Highway to Hell album that came out about the same time. I think there might have been a legal battle over that one as well.
I think so.
But the musical is still going strong in the West End and on Broadway.
What's the musical?
Wants to go and see it.
Parish, what's the musical? What's it called?
It's called Sin City, the AC/DC musical, The Story of Fingers Freddy.
Okay.
So
I'll have to put something together for that.
Just slips off the tongue.
And Elder, what was yours called again?
Rocking to Hell.
Rocking to Hell. I was going to say, Matt, if you can send me that, do you have that? Because you put that together. Do you have the file for that or something?
I'll send you a picture. I just made a quick picture.
No big deal, but I'll use it.
When
I put like the graphic up, and I'll make graphics for all your other records. But yeah, you want to give me that or send it to me somehow? Yeah, you've got my email. Send it to me, and then I'll use it when we put the thumbnail up.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we've got to go all the way. Come on, God, so good. Ladies and gentlemen.
Very interesting concepts. Very good.
Very good concepts. Yes. We would love to hear what you have as a concept. If you're so bold, I would like to see what the viewers come up with. So please, down below, give us your concept for an AC/DC album. So the criteria is 8 to 10 songs again. And we're doing AC/DC. You sequence them, you build a concept around the tracks. So if you can come up with something, but see, bullets, prison, AC/DC is all about prison and bullets. So it's so easy to,
I was looking maybe do one about drinking, maybe.
Drinking.
You could have done drinking,
Yeah, there was a few songs about drinking and partying, that kind of thing. It could be about women, you got like songs like Whole Lot of Rosie and other songs that kind of relate to women and not by name, but they talk about them, So that could be another thing.
Yeah, you could come up with something like that. I could see them come up with big balls.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, I guess we're.
You're muted.
Oh no! Why did that do that? My mic switched over to some. Now am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Yes.
My phone just flipped over, and then the phone mic. I don't know what it was. What the hell? Weird. Anyway, All right, cool. I want to thank Matt of Rock. I want to thank the Elder of Rock. I want to thank the Parish of Rock. We do want to hear from you down below. If you'd like to be on these panels, we would love to have you. This is so fun. If you'd like to support the channel, we have a Patreon. Feel free to join that. You could get access to the panels. You can, a lot of interaction. The shows go up early, blah, 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 blah. We also have a Ko-fi, buy us a pint or a cup of coffee. That would be just swell. But either way, there'll be more concepts coming because it's concept.
Here, the others that were up there, what was it? Leonard Skinner was one? Was Leonard Skinner one? And
I think so.
the others that were up there, I'm really interested to hear what those are going to be.
Car crashes, drinking, and drugs, probably. Flying. I don't know.
There's
Is it
some
too
bullets
soon?
there too.
Yeah. Give me my bullets. See, there's bullets.
Give me back my bullets and then
All right, boys, I'm going to let you
Saturday
go.
Night Special.
Special, yeah, right.
Short and sweet. All right. Anyway, everybody, please leave a like. We will see you on the next one. All right, gentlemen. Thanks so much for doing this. It was
Cool. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Thanks all.
Thanks, everybody.